What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man, and I'm back at it again. And this is Fire Force Episode 5 discussion slash review. And it was absolutely glorious, man. I loved every moment of it. But did I not? Did I not last week call it? I called it perfectly. I knew the sister and the chick, the captain from Company 5 were. I knew they had a relationship. I knew it. I knew it within my mind for reading and knowing about anime. I knew it. The looks that they gave each other were just so significant that they had to know each other. And it okay. Let's get into the episode, man. First off, it started with us seeing the sister praying and everything, and we got a miniature flashback of her being actually younger than what she was and smaller than the chick that's the captain of Company 5. So she's older than her, and the sister kind of looked up to her. So, but I knew it. I called their relationship, man. I knew there was something there. And then we get Shinra walking by and seeing the sister crying, and he kind of shocked and was wondering why she was crying. And he asked her, man, is there anything wrong? Like Fire Force firefighters, we help people when they're in trouble. And she was like, thank you. And just like she didn't mention anything. But then we get to a part of the episode that I absolutely enjoyed, and that's when they're on the roof and we see Captain Obi didn't really get any screen time in this episode. He got those few moments on the rooftop, but that was it. After that, they didn't show him at all. But we get the lieutenant talking to Shinra, Maki, the sister, and Arthur, and we see Arthur talking to these birds, talking about, get out of here, you griffin. I love Arthur, man. Arthur is absolutely fantastic. Hold on, that's a little okay. We get Arthur, and Arthur is absolutely fantastic, man. But then we get him also looking at like a lizard or a chameleon, and it was like I'm going to slay this dragon. And then Shinra was like, first you have to find a dragon, man. It was great. I love Arthur and Shinra's relationship. And I love just seeing Arthur make a complete fool of himself. But a moment that I thought was absolutely wonderful was when we got the lieutenant and Maki kind of explained how he uses his powers. We knew how Maki uses hers. Like every time there's a flame or something, because she was second generation, and her and the lieutenant can only control flames like when they're generated from somewhere else, that she always creates something or like spreads it out. But the lieutenant, he uses guns, but he shoots in this moment. He shoots Shinra, but like he pulls back like the firepower from the bullet in the pin, pushing the bullet out, and he hit Shinra, so there's no firepower behind it. It just hit Shinra like a rubber bullet or like a airsoft gun or anything like that. That was cool. I thought that was very, very interesting. And this is the first time we've actually really gotten anything into his powers. I didn't want that to show up. Yeah, that's reflection. It's crazy. Really into his powers. Like normally we just like see him using his guns, but like this whole episode, the lieutenant is boss, man. The lieutenant is beast. We actually see him go ham this entire episode. When they showed him, he was going in, man. But I'll talk about that in a minute. And then we get to, what part did we get to? We get to them still discussing about eventually raiding the Fifth Company to find out more information about the Infernals and where they created, because they feel like the Fifth Company, and the lieutenant said as much, that the Fifth Company knows more than what they're saying, but they're just not sharing it with anybody else. So then we get to the part where we see Shinra and Arthur in bed, and Shinra is constantly thinking about the sister and what's wrong with her and what she's going through, and he's talking to Arthur, and Arthur is on his kick again. He's an idiot, man, but I love him. And then Maki comes in and asks them, have they seen the sister? I can't talk. And they were like, no, we haven't. And then we pan and we see the sister. Is it before or after that? I think it's before. No. Anyway, we pan and we see the sister at the Fifth Company. Well, before that, we see her talking to one of the guards outside the Fifth Company trying to get in. And then all of that happens with Maki and Shinra and Arthur. And then we see her talking to her about their past and about other stuff. And for some reason, the captain of the Fifth Company seems to be so aggravated and pissed off at the sister or something that happened, because I'm guessing, you know, maybe like their company, like their old nunnery place burned down or something. It's something that involves that, because she used to be a sister too, and now she just hates the idea of a sister, and she just burned the clothes off the sister. It's just, I need to know more what's going on about this story, because it seems very interesting about their relationship. And then she tells her that, you know, she burns off her clothing, and that I hate, you know, the whole sister type thing. And then, but she doesn't. It's so confusing, because then she gives her fire cloak and covers her up. So it's crazy, man. And then she was like, well, now I'm going to use you as bait to lure the other members of Company 8 here to get rid of you guys. But no, that didn't work. Company 8 raided their place, man. Shinra came in there like a boss and started kicking butt. And then we have Arthur just cutting their vehicle shape into the wall, and the lieutenant just rammed it and drove in. And I love it, man. I love Company. Let's be real. Company 8 just straight demolished the Fifth Company. I mean, the Fifth Company was doing all this bragging and stuff, but I mean, they haven't fought the captain, but like, they were just her flunkies. They straight demolished these guys, man. They were, and there was 4 people in on the raid. There was 4 people, and they straight mollywopped their whole company, man. But then they come in and they raid, and Shinra's just going ham. And then Arthur comes in and starts kicking butt, and then we see the lieutenant. Man, I knew he was strong, because he's the lieutenant, so like, he's going to be strong. But dude came in with his guns, man. He was like, Shinra, Arthur, you guys go ahead, and we'll handle these guys right here. And it was absolutely glorious, man. It was fantastic to see the lieutenant come in and kick butt. Then we get to just little side stuff going on. You know, we see Shinra fighting more fighters, and Arthur's following Shinra's singe marks, but he called them the devil's footprints. And that's when we come in contact with the old scientist guy that part of the Fifth Company, and they've somehow, I skipped this part. I can't even believe I did that. Before all of that, we see the captain of the Fifth Company torturing the Infernal. I mean, like, just straight sticking him with stuff and doing all this stuff. So Chick is crazy. Chick is like legit crazy. Like, she just lost all her marbles. But let's get back to the thing. Then we see the old guy fighting Arthur with the Infernal. Like, he super boosted the Infernal, because he was never this strong when they were fighting him in last week's episode. But he boosted his powers, and he gave him like some kind of fire organism thing on his arm that sucks in, looks like oxygen, or just it builds up the oxygen around, and it shoots out out fire. And it was good. I loved their fight. And then Arthur was going back and forth, you know, like, for somehow he ended up switching his sword hilt into the opposite hand, so he couldn't draw any strength, and he was getting mollywopped for a minute. But then he switched his hands, man, and Arthur came through. And that's exactly what my thumbnail is Arthur coming through and just demolishing dude, man, because that scene was absolutely fantastic. It was going to be the lieutenant going ham, because the lieutenant went beast, and that's what I'm going to talk about now, man. The lieutenant came in, and they flashed back to him fighting the dude, the dude that was talking all that smack last week. And his powers was cool too. He used his, I'm thinking he's maybe like 3rd generation too. He had some kind of bubble gum that, like, he filled it with gas, and like once it hit air, it popped and exploded, and it caused a big explosion. So that was nice. His powers was cool. But it has nothing on the lieutenant, man. The lieutenant came with his gun and was just shooting the dude. But like I said earlier in the video, he can control the firepower out of the bullet. And when he does that, he shoots it. Oh my gosh, you guys seen it, right, man? He shot it, and then like it bounced, and like it just hit the ground. And then he said, and then he put a little more spin and pressure to it, and because he can control like the fire and everything in the bullets. And it shot and started spinning, ricocheting, and just popped. Dude, the lieutenant is beast. I didn't give the lieutenant a lot of credit. I knew he was strong because he's the lieutenant, but dude is absolutely wonderful, man. And then we get the 3 chicks that was absolutely useless, man. They done nothing. They hyped themselves up, and they even hyped them up in last week's episode, and they done nothing because Maki was just straight mollywhopping these chicks, man. We knew Maki was super strong, and then we had that one chick where like the lieutenant was like, there's more, right? And then we have that one chick that's back there just a shivering, and she's scared and everything else. Oh, come on, man. The lighting is messing up. But she's shivering and shaking and she's scared and everything. So it was absolutely glorious. I loved every moment of this episode, man. Fire Force just keeps getting better and better and better and better, and the animation quality was absolutely wonderful in this whole episode. But the most beautiful scene was when we saw the sisters flashback, and they showed a picture of their nunnery and the sky, and that whole scene looked like a painting that was just posted on a wall somewhere or something. It was absolutely wonderful, man. But this is your boy Nick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, and Fire Force is fantastic, man. Peace out.